If you will, turn with me to 1 Samuel chapter 22. 1 Samuel 22. It was my fault this morning we had technical difficulties. I told Calvin to put the verse on the screen and he shut it down. It blew the computer up. Amen. We're going to talk about David this morning, and it's a very familiar scripture, but I'm going to take it a different way this morning. And I'm hoping somebody will come out with their hands up.
Yes, sir.
Amen. Stand if you would for the reading of the Word. We do that not because of who we are or what we do, it's because of reverence of the Word of God. Amen. Amen. Chapter 22 says, David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And when his brethren and his father's house heard it, they went down there thither with him. And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontent gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them. And there were within about 400 men. And David went thence to Mizpah of Moab, and he said to the king of Moab, Let my father and my mother, I pray thee, come forth and be with you, till I know what God will do for me. And he brought them before the king of Moab, and they dwelt with him all the while that David was in the hold. I want to stop right there just a second. That word right there, hold, means stronghold.
Yes.
So he's stuck in something right here that he don't know what to do. So he's taking his father and his mother and he's putting them in a safe place because he don't know what's about to go down. Amen. He don't know. All he knows is he's in a stronghold. Verse 5 says, And the prophet Gad said unto him, I got a bad echo, Caleb. I don't know what you can do about it. David, abide in it, the hold, depart to get thee into the land of Judah. Somebody say Judah.
Judah.
Then David departed and came to the forest of Hareth. Let me read that again, because this is where we're going. And it said, The prophet Gad said unto David, Abide not in the hold. What that word mean? Hold? Stronghold. Abide not in the stronghold that you're in. Depart from it and get into the land of Judah. Get into the land of praise. You get out of this stronghold and you get into the land of praise. Amen. You get out of the stronghold and you get into the land of praise. Amen. You can be seated and we're going to take it off. See, because this morning I'm going to talk to you about being in a cave season. About being in a cave. Has anybody ever been in a cave season where you feel like there ain't no way out, but everything around you is sinking in, and it's a cold, dry place, and it's dark, and you don't know what's going on, and you don't know where to go? Amen. I've been there. We used to go to look at caves. And I actually went in one that had 17 rooms one time. It had 17 chambers of the cave. And you had to take, when you went into an opening about the size of this speaker right here, you had to slide down in there. But when you got in there, it was a big place to where you could gather. And what you had to do is you had to take a piece of string and you had to tie it to a rock on the outside. And then as you went through there, you pulled that string with you, because if you didn't, you'd get lost.
Amen.
You get lost in that cave because of the darkness and because of the way it went back and forth, and the rocks were all looking the same and everything was the same. But there's different places in that cave to where it was obvious that what was living there, and it was a real damp place. You never went anywhere in there that it was a warm, dry place. It was always damp. It was always dark. It was always a stagnant smell. But there wasn't nothing really living there. As I was researching this about the cave, there's only 3 things that live in caves. You got fish that live there, and you got snails, and you got salamanders. That's the only things that are specifically designed to live in the cave. And what blew my mind about it was everything that lives in the cave is blind. There isn't nothing that lives there that has vision. So I'm going to tell you this morning, if you're in a cave season, you're probably not going to have good vision. Amen? You're probably not going to have good vision to see what's going on. That's why I said when you tie that string to you and you go down in that dark place, and then what we did when we got done, we went into, like I said, I don't remember how many exactly, but 10, 12 rooms of that cave. We started turning around and we followed the string all the way back out. Amen? The kite string or whatever it was. Because we didn't want to get lost there. See, because the truth is the cave is a place that you don't want to be. It's okay to be like a bear and a wolf and go in and take refuge from it, but then you come back out in a season. I believe in a cave season, God can use you and He can build you in a cave season. If you're in a dark place, you know, God does His best work in the night season. If you're in a night season, it's probably something that God can use to build you up. Amen. He can build you there. He can build you in that cave, but you was never meant to stay there. You was never meant to stay in that cave. Amen. It's not a place for you to live. It's a place for you to visit, but you got to come out.
Amen.
See, David was on the run from Saul. Saul was trying to kill him. And as he was going, he went to, let me read it to you. Let me read it to you. 21:8. 21:8. This is before he gets to the cave. David said unto Ahimelech, and is there not here under thine hand a spear or a sword? For I have neither brought me sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste. What he's saying there is the king sent me on business. What he did was he lied to the prophet. He lied to him because the king hadn't seen him. The king hadn't seen him nowhere. He was on the run, and he didn't know where else to go. So he went there and he said, look, they're trying to kill me, and I didn't bring nothing with me to fight with. And see, what blew my mind about reading this is he is 2 miles. See, just not too long before that, he stood before the man of God, and he passed by all of his brothers. You know the story. And he said, the oil won't flow on none of them. Don't you have anybody else like anoint king? And he said, yeah, I got this one boy that's a shepherd. He's out in the field. He said, bring him to me. And he anointed David king. That was before that. And then when he went down and he went down to check on his brothers, and they couldn't find nobody to fight Goliath. And he said, I'll do it. And he went down as a little boy and he slew Goliath. And that's all that stuff has happened in the season. But 2 miles. 2 miles from where he slew Goliath. 2 miles from where he slew Goliath, in the same valley. In the same valley, he found himself on the run. And he found himself with nothing to fight with. He didn't have nothing to fight Goliath with. God gave him a word and said, use this stone right here. This is what you're going to defeat your enemy with. But he was trusting in God in that season. But see, when you come to a season in your life and you drift away from God and the things start piling up on you and you feel like you're backed into a cave and you don't know what else to do, God said, hey, listen, I supplied it for you one time, but I can supply it for you again. But when he got to the priest's house, and he said, don't you have any weapons here that I can use? That I can use. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Life, behold, is there wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you will take it, take it. There is none other in the house. See, what happens is, when you get to that place and you ain't got nothing to fight with, and you feel like everything's against you, you don't know exactly what's going on, and you're in familiar territory, amen? It's a place that you've been before, and Lord have mercy, God, wrap this thing with. See, but you get back to it, and I believe as he picked up the sword that the prophet gave him, stuff started coming back to him. I believe he could look at the sword and it still had blood on it from where he chopped the giant's head off. And I believe that as he looked at the sword, all the things that God had done for him in past seasons started rushing back to him. And you know, and when he left there with that sword, the only thing that he had to fight with is the things of the past that he had conquered before. Sometimes in this life, you got to look back on where God's brought you from. Amen. You got to look back on where God has brought you from in the past, and the time that you look like that song says, that it looks like your vessel's filling up, and it looks like you're about to go down. But God said, I'm going to bring you out. And then I'm going to bring you out. All you got to do is speak to me. Speak to me this morning, and I know your voice, and I'll come and speak to your storm. Amen. He gave him the sword. He gave him Goliath's sword to fight with. And it said he left there and he went to the cave. And gathered with him was his father's house and everybody that was discontent, in debt, in distress. He got some real good ones to gather with him there, amen. But listen, the reason they gathered with him was because they followed him before. Because his father, if you read the story of David, he didn't even have a good relationship with his family. But they come there because they knew Saul was going to kill them. If they stayed in the place that they were at, Saul was going to kill everybody that was connected to David. Amen? So they said, we ain't got no choice but to go back down here. And then in that cave season, David took the reins and he stepped up as the leader, and they used that dark place as a training ground. Amen? They started building stuff up in that training ground. I want to read something here real quick.
Thank you, Jesus.
While he was there, while he was in that season, he wrote a bunch of psalms. He wrote a bunch of psalms. But when he first got to the cave, this is how it sounded. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then I kneweth my path. In the way wherein I walked, have they privily laid a snare for me. I looked on my right hand, and behold, there was no man that would know me. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul. I cried unto the Lord. I said, Thou art my refuge and my portion of the land of the living. And when he got there, he thought it was finished.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do. He said, I'm here, God. And he done lost all hope. See, because when you get backed up in a cave, I wish I had a cave this morning. When you get backed up in there, there's sides on this side, and there's walls on this side, and there's a top, there's a back, and there ain't but one way out. Amen. And that's the way you got in. That's the way you got in. If you're in a hard place this morning, and you can look around and figure out how in the world you got in the mess, you can find your way out. Amen. If you can figure out, hey, I know how I got in here, and I can fix this. If you figure out how to get out of there, just know how you got in it. Amen. Because there ain't but one way out of the cave. There ain't but one way out of the cave. Amen. And when he got there, let me read this to you. Because as he went along, it started sounding a little different. Make sure I read the right one. Amen. And then, halfway into the season, he says, As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord will save me. Amen. Evening and morning and noon will I pray. I cry aloud, and I shall hear my voice. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth in the old. See, as he started there, I believe that he had the sword with him in that cave, and every time that he was training the guys there that was with him, the ones that was distressed, he didn't have a whole lot to work with. But he said, look guys, you don't understand what God's done for me before. You don't understand. It don't matter what season you're in, amen? It don't matter what season you're in. I come here to tell you this morning, if you're distressed, if you're discontent, I don't care what season you're in, God will do it for you again, amen? He took that sword and he used it. He used it to train those men, amen? He told them, he said, look, it don't matter. It don't matter. God will bring you out. God will bring you out because he's done all this stuff before. He's already used all this stuff for me before, amen?
Amen.
But then, after they got trained up, my voice is going. As they got trained up, let's go back to verse 4. It says, in verse 5, it says, And the prophet Gad said unto David, Abide not in the hold, depart, and get thee into the land of Judah. Then David departed and came into the forest of Hereth. See, because everybody knows what Judah means. Judah means praise. If you look it up, Judah means praise. And all through the Bible, God used Judah. He would send them out before wars to sound trumpets and do praise. And anytime that Judah went first, they always won the victory. Amen? Anytime Judah would go first, they always won the victory. So God sent the prophet Gad there, and Gad said, David, I see where you're at. I see that you're in a stronghold. See, Gad knew David. Gad knew that David was anointed king. Gad knew that David had slew Goliath. Gad knew that he used to write psalms unto God, and that they used to sing songs about him and all that. Gad knew all that stuff. And he said, why in the world are you here in this hole? Why in the world are you here in this stronghold, David? I don't understand what would bring you from all of that great experience that you've had with God. All things that you've done for God. All those times that God's delivered you, David. I don't understand how you could be in here in this cave season, in this dark season, and not know how to get out. He said, I'm going to tell you how to get out, David. I'm going to tell you because God's sitting here to tell you. You get out of this hole. You get out of this cave, and you go to Judah, and you come out of this cave with your hands up. You come out of here with your hands up. You come out of here. You better be giving God the praise that He deserves, because He's about to break you forth like you ain't never been brought forth before.
Yes,
And the story says that he went on and he slew many, many thousands of people.
yes,
He slew many thousands of people. But see, what we don't understand about caves is it don't take much. I want y'all to go with me just for a second.
Amen.
I was curious to see how caves were even formed. And some caves are formed with just one drip. One drip on a rock from a water source. Just one drip. See, sometimes in our life, the things that put us in isolation start with just one little drip.
Come on.
One little drip of somebody doing something to you, or the doctor giving you a report that's not too good. Just that one little drip. And then over time, that one little drip just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger until you find yourself in a hole. And it's dark and damp and you don't know how to get out. Amen. You say, Lord, I don't even know how I got here. I don't even know how I got in this place to where my family can't function. I don't know how I got in this place, God, to where I feel sick all the time. I don't know how I got in this place, God, to where I don't even go to church anymore. I don't know how I got in this place, God, of where I'm always feuding with the people I love. I don't know, God. And He said to tell you this morning that it's just that one drip. But if you can find out how that you got there, you can go back and fix it, amen? You can figure out a way out of the cave. You can figure out a way out of the cave. The second way that they're formed is there's a big shift. There's a shift in the earth that creates a void. See, sometimes along your journey, something in your life might take a shift. And it might be a good shift sometimes, but sometimes it's a bad shift. And all of a sudden you find that in that shift of time that you're in a cave season and you don't even know how you got there again. You say, Lord, I'm in this dark place. And all that happens is this one incident when my life shifted forever. It shifted, and now here I am in this dark place, and I can't see no light, and I can't see no warmth, and I can't feel the sun anymore. But God said to tell you, that shift, if you can figure out how to get back there, He can make it right again. Just find out where that shift was, and He'll make it right again. He'll make it right. And the other way you can make a cave is by creating a void. Sometimes they'll take these big, huge stones and they'll dump them over in the valleys. And it creates huge voids. See, sometimes in our life, we're missing something. There's a void there that we don't know what it is. There's a void there. You say, man, I'm trying with everything in me. I'm giving it my all. I'm working every day. I'm doing this. I'm praying. I'm seeking God. I don't know what it is, but there's just something missing. There's a void in my life. There's a void there that I don't understand. And then as that void starts to multiply, I feel like, I hope this don't mess up the video, but you're backed up in a cave and everything's dark around you and you don't know what's going on. And God said to tell you, if you can figure out what the void is, if you can figure out where the void is, He can bring you out of that dark season. He can bring you out of that cave this morning. If you can figure out where the void is.
Thank you.
Joe, as you come, I'm almost done.
Thank you, Jesus.
See, there's another instance in there where they talk about Elijah being on the run and Elijah's in the cave. I want to give you 3 points about Elijah real quick. Whenever God sent a word to Elijah while he was in the cave, and He said, what in the world are you doing here? Elijah, what in the world are you doing here? The man that called down fire from heaven. was found himself in a cave because of the word of one woman. He was on the run just like David was. See, because there's several things that will cause you to go on the run. I'll talk about them in just a second. Elijah was there, and the 3 points about Elijah was he couldn't stay in the cave because he was still anointed. I'm trying to tell you this morning, you can't stay in that season because you're still anointed. Second thing about Elijah was he had somebody depending on him. There was a little man out there named Elisha that was waiting on him for him to put the anointing on him. There's somebody in your life this morning that's depending on you. You can't stay in that cave. You got to come up out of that cave because they're depending on you. They're depending on you to get the word to them. They don't want to go to hell. They don't want to do. They're waiting on you to give them a word, but you can't do it while you're in a cave. Amen. You got to come out of that cave this morning. And the third thing, the reason Elijah couldn't stay there, because his best days was ahead of him. His best days was ahead of him. I come to tell y'all the same thing this morning. Your best days are ahead. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what they said about you. I don't care what they've done to you. Your best days are still ahead of you. I'll tell you why your best days are ahead of you. Not because I'm holding this microphone telling you that, but because God said your best days are ahead of you. God said your best days are ahead of you. The best days of your life are still ahead of you. If he was done with you, you wouldn't have a thumb thump in your chest, but he ain't done with you yet. You're still anointed. You're still called. If everybody will stand with me, well, no, don't stand yet. Just wait till. Don't stand yet. Simon says, sit down. I want you to go with me just a minute this morning. See, because I got a test for you. I got a test for you this morning. It's a cave test. Question number one is there anything in your life this morning that's created darkness? Is there anything in your life this morning that's created darkness? See, because the truth is, when it's dark, like I said, there ain't nothing in that darkness that has vision. But the good thing about the darkness is we can seal off all these lights, cut off all the lights, and Carlos can come to the front and he can light one candle and the light would permeate the darkness. All it takes is for the light of the world. The light of the world to speak over your life this morning. And all the darkness has to flee. Amen. All the darkness has to flee because of one word from the light of the world. The light of the world wants to speak over you this morning. So question number one is there a dark place in your life? Question number two I got for you. Is there anything in your life that's grown cold? Is there anything in your life, because there is no place you can go in a cave season where it ain't cold and damp. There's no place you can go to where the cold, damp air doesn't follow you around. Matter of fact, a lot of the deep mines, Carlos can tell you, it's the same temperature all year long. It's cold and damp. It's cold and damp. See, so in a cave season, if you stay there too long, you'll become cold. I'm going to be real with you this morning. If you don't read this word, if you don't come to church, if you don't pray, stuff will start getting cold. And you'll find yourself in a cave. You won't even know how you got there because it happens slowly. Your body starts to get cold. But the thing about a cold place is, if you stay there long enough, you'll die.
Amen.
You'll die spiritually, or you'll die physically, because your body's not developed. You can't stay in a cold place.
Thank you, Jesus.
Another question is the place where you're at, is it lonely?
Thank you.
Because in a cave, you're going to be lonely. God sent some people to David. But you may be in a place this morning where you ain't got nobody. You ain't got nobody. You ain't got nobody to help you. You don't know where to turn to. And you just feel like you're isolated.
Yes, Jesus.
And it may not be physically, it may be mentally.
Thank you.
You may feel like that nobody would ever understand you, what you're going through in your mind. And you just feel like you're just all alone. And even when you're in a crowded room, you feel like you're alone.
Amen.
Because the enemy has isolated you and put you in that cave of loneliness. I got a friend that says he's stick closer than a brother. He said, I'll be with you all the way to the end of the world. Amen. So if you're in a lonely place this morning, I got a friend that you can meet this morning. To when all that loneliness will be gone. Amen. It'll be gone because of one word, one friend.
Thank you, Jesus.
See, the way the enemy works is he wants to walk around and roar at you like a lion. The way the lion works is he'll find somebody that's dragging behind. That lion will come down off of his rock. You say, here's the flock. And here's the one stray.
Yes, Lord.
That one stray that the weight of the world's dragging down and they're running behind the flock. They don't even know how they're going to do it to keep up. But the flock keeps getting further and further ahead of them.
Yes, Lord.
There's this one that's dragging.
Yes, Jesus.
And the weight, the loneliness, and the coldness, and the darkness is piling up on him. And that lion comes down. And he comes in between the flock and the one that's dragging behind.
Yes, Jesus.
And he isolates you.
Yes, Jesus.
And then there he can devour you.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
You see, what I love about God is if we can find a way. The Good Shepherd says he'll leave the 99 and he'll go after the one. When you get back to the flock, when you get back to the flock, you're under the shepherd's protection. Amen. If you can get back to the flock, you'll be under the shepherd's protection. There ain't no lion, there ain't no bear, there ain't no wolf that's going to come and devour you as long as the shepherd is watching over you. Amen. The last one. Y'all can stand up now. The last one. Has the darkness of the cave caused you to lose sight of where you're going? Has the darkness of your cave caused you to lose sight of where you're going? Has the weight of the world, has all the things that's going on in your life caused you to lose sight of where you truly need to be this morning? See, because the Bible says without vision the people will perish. See, so if you lose sight in that cave season, sight in that cave season, you'll perish unless you can find your way out. You see, the thing about a cave is when you start coming out of the cave, you can look ahead and there's always a light shining in the open. There's a light of God shining on this place this morning that says if you'll come to the light, I'll take you out of the darkness. Yes. Just follow the light, amen. Come to the light this morning and you'll leave the darkness forever. Yes. See, because in the cave, I won't go into it, but there was some kings that run for refuge in a cave. And Jonathan told them to put stones over the cave. They cover the entrance. See, so if you stay in your cave long enough, that cave will become a tomb. Say it again. If you stay in the cave too long, it'll become a tomb this morning. Because the light will be cut off. And you won't be able to find your way out. And you can't no longer follow the string like I said before. Because the rock in the opening will look the same as the rock that's behind you.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
We went I used to be on a search and rescue team. And we went down into Dickinson County. And we climbed this great big mountain where this boy was lost. And when we got up there and there was a little crevice that you had to crawl through. And when we got there, it was about 6 of us on the team, and we was walking around. We was looking for signs that he might be there. And the next thing you know, we was back to the same place that we was at before. I said, Lord, have mercy. This is the same place it was before, so we started marking our trail. We marked it all the way around. And you walk it, being experienced, trained people. We was trained to do search and rescue. And you would come around, and then there it would be again. So I said, guys, look, there's about a 1 mile radius. I said, he has to be here. He has to be here. Because if he got in here, he can't find his way out. Because everything looks the same. So we broke up and we went through there. And sure enough, there he was. He said, I've been going around in a circle for 2 days and I can't find my way out. I believe you're in a season this morning where you can't find your way out. But God said, I got the trail marked. I know the way out. I know the way out. We took him by the hand and we showed him the way out. God said, I'll take you by the hand this morning and I'll show you the way to go. You don't have to stay where you're at. Because if he'd have stayed there, he would have died. I said, young man, is there anything we can do for you? I opened up my pack and I said, this is what I got. He said, Lord, have mercy. I'm starving to death. Please feed me. I believe God's showing you this morning. There's somebody during this season, you're about to starve out. This word of God permeating your soul. It's feeding you like you ain't been fed in a long time. And you say, I don't know what it is, but I've been fed this morning. God said, he tried to show you that he still loves you, that he still cared about you. We serve a faithful God, church. The Bible says you can go 10,000 miles away from Him. You can walk and you can walk and you can walk and you can walk. Just like the prodigal son. All you got to do is turn around and look back toward home. And the Father will be waiting. All you got to do is come to yourself and realize that you're where you should be this morning. That you need the Father. That there's some things in your life that if you stay there, they're going to try to take you out. If you stay there, you're going to lose your vision. If you stay there, you're going to become, your grave is going to become a tomb out of your cave. That cave that you're in will become a tomb if you stay there too long. If every head bowed and every eye closed in this place this morning, I know it's not a typical Sunday morning message, but God sent this word. It's been in my spirit for about 3 months. And I want to tell you this morning, if you're in this house, you ain't here by accident. You ain't here by chance. God called you here to this place this morning to get you out of the cave. He called you to this place this morning to show you the way out. He called you to this place this morning to feed your soul. He called you to this place this morning to show you that He still loves you. I believe in divine intervention. I believe that God has set some people up in here for a breakthrough, for a breakout, for a new season, for a new day. I want to do this first. If you're in this place this morning and you don't know the Lord and Savior as your personal Savior, you'd say, preacher, the words that you said made my baby jump. It made something on the inside of me jump up and down. It made my heart flutter like it hadn't fluttered in a long time. If that's you this morning, you want to be saved, just simply slip up your hand right now. Don't you stay in that cave. Don't you stay in that cave this morning. I got a Father that's going to show you the way out. I got a Father that loves you this morning. He said you're here this morning, not by chance, but by divine appointment. One more time, I know I'm speaking to at least 4 people. I can feel it in my spirit. I don't usually do that, but I know you're here this morning. You're here because the Father loves you. If that's you this morning, don't be scared. I won't embarrass you, I promise. I promise I won't embarrass you. Just me looking right now, just me. Just simply slip up your hand right now. Right now, don't you stay there. Don't you stay there in that cave. Right now, I feel it. I feel strong. Come on, church, pray. I believe there's somebody that's about to get a breakthrough. Don't you stay there. I'm not going to beg. But I know there's somebody in here. Don't stay in your cave. Real quick. Real quick, don't be scared. Don't be scared. I won't even call you to the front if you just lift your hand. Just lift your hand and show me that I'm on the right page. I see that hand. Anybody else? Anybody else? I know there's more. I see that hand. Praise God. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? I know there's at least 2 more. At least 2 more. Anybody else? Yes, praise God. There's 3. Don't stay in that cave this morning. Don't stay in that cave this morning. Real quick, I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. God loves you this morning. God loves you this morning. Anybody else? I shift the order of the service. Anybody else? Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Give him a hand clap of praise for awesomeness. Listen, I said I wouldn't call you to the front, I mean that. But at any time during this altar call that you feel like coming up praying, I would love to pray with you. But I will not ask you to come up here. But with every head bowed and every eye closed, I want everybody to repeat after me. Father, forgive me for my sins. I know that you want me to come out of this cave. I know that you're going to forgive me. I know you died on the cross for me. And I believe it. And I believe it. In Jesus' name. Now, if every head bowed and every eye closed, if you prayed that prayer for salvation, I need to just make notice of it. Please raise your hand. If you prayed that prayer for salvation, I won't call you up. There's 1. There's 2. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Don't be ashamed. There's 3. Come on. Come on. Anybody else? Anybody else? I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. I'm not going to call you to the front. I'm not going to call you to the front. But God loves you this morning. God loves you this morning. There's the other one. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Yes. Give him a hand clap. Yes. Yes. Praise God. Now, as long as you don't stay there. Amen. I gave you a test. I said, is there a place in your life that's dark? Is there a place in your life that's cold? Is there a hard place in your life? Is it lonely? Or have you lost your vision? Let's bow our heads one more time. If you were under any of those categories, if you were under any of those categories, come on, Joe, put some music on. Put some music on, Kelly. Praise God. Is it dark? Never head bowed, never eye closed. Is it dark? Is it cold? Is there a hard place? Is it lonely? Or have you lost your vision? If that's you this morning, just simply lift up your hand right now. Lift up your hand right now. Anybody in the house? Anybody in the house? That's 2, that's 3. Come on, I know there's more. That's 4. Anybody else? Anybody else says, I know that I'm in a cave.